Welcome back, everybody. G Bear out here homesteading the desert on September 15th, 2018. And you're looking at my shower valve. I finished soldering the pipe in the top there. Got everything refastened. I found all my trim, so I put it all in place so I won't lose it. Nothing is screwed on, it's just pressed into place, but I wanted to make sure that I didn't have to go searching for it like I just did today. And it took me a half an hour to find just that knob in itself. So anyway, I wanted to show you, I also found a quarter turn angle stop and a service line to go to my toilet. Now that's not tight either, that's just set in place. But I wanted to put that there so I know where it is when I need it. I won't put that on and tighten it until after I finish the drywall here, because I've got to make a small hole to fit over that pipe in the drywall, and I want to make it as small as possible. Now I'll caulk around it, so if any little bugs or anything get inside the wall, they can't get out into the inside of the cabin. All right, I also cut my 2 pieces of green board and got those into place here by the tub, and I'm all ready to go. Now, when I do the rest of the wall, I'll be doing the drywall sideways this way, so that's only 5 feet across, so I'll have 3 feet left over. So when I put the next piece on there, I'm going to need 2 feet at the top, and that's 1 sheet cut in half. That'll work there and here on the top. Then the other side here, this is only 4 feet across, so 1 sheet cut in half will do a 4-footer and a 4-footer, and then the rest of this would be just a little more than a 2-foot, so I'll go up there and right down here. I've still got to put a cross member in here for where the toilet paper holder goes, so I can have something to fasten into. And once I get the outer walls in and the insulation in place and all of that stuff, then I will be putting in some crossbar supports like these over there and across there, so that I can put grab handles in, because I'm not getting any younger and someday I'll need them. May not need them now, but it'll be nice to have them whenever I want to put them in. I'm thinking that most of the time when I get into a shower, I get in on the valve side of the shower, but I may be getting in on the back side of this shower so that I can walk into the water rather than step right into it and start splashing all over the floor here. So what I'll do is I'm going to end up putting a sliding glass shower enclosure on this side after it's all done. In the meantime, I can just use a shower curtain with a cheap rod if I have to, after I get the walls closed. But that'll get me into place. Now, up here I got my wall box. That's the light for the bathroom here. That's the only light I should need in here, and that'll be tied into a fan, or actually the fan will be on a separate switch, so I don't have to run the fan all the time up here. I put my box up here for the hallway light, and the reason I set it right on that one is because that's right in the center of this door. So if I turn that light on and it's just not too dark out, or even if it is dark out, I can come into the bathroom and I've got plenty of light to use the bathroom. I don't have to turn on a bathroom light. So that does a dual purpose. And also, I don't need it over there in the bedroom, because the bedroom's going to have its own lights. I'm going to have a table light on a nightstand over there plugged into the wall that I can turn on just by rolling off to one side of the bed and hitting a switch. And then the light in the ceiling fan up here will be operated by a switch here and there. As you know, I'll be picking up those switches tomorrow. My subscriber and good friend Chips, the young lady who gave me or donated the handles for my cabinets and the holder for my plastic bags inside my cabinet door, which I love. Thank you again. I didn't know if I was going to like those or not, but boy, do I love them. They're right where I work, and all I have to do is reach down, open the door, grab whichever bag I want right out of there without even taking the box out. I can just pull it right out of the unit and bag up what I have to, and the refrigerator's right here, so I just put everything in the refrigerator. It really saves some time. Thank you again. All right, and I will be going to the store because she sent me 100 feet of 12-2 wire, which is what I need to finish running all of my electrical in here for my 120 volt system. And what I'm going to do is, I found it'll be cheaper if I buy a cheap 14 gauge extension cord at Harbor Freight Tools that I can cut up and use for the three-way switches I need to put in here. A 50-footer will give me all the wire I need, plus my length of power line I need to get from one box to the other. So I'll be all set with that. I also have some 14-2 Romex inside the container that I could use for my power runs. No big deal on that. But I'm all prepared, and I'll be probably going in to the depot to get that tomorrow. I also got a box down here for my outdoor outlet, because I got to have my outdoor electricity, and that's a good place for it. And you're going to notice that there's these yellow things stuck in the studs. And I was asked about those by one of my subscribers, that he couldn't find them at Home Depot. So that's what they look like. They're two-piece. This is the other side of it. It's got a little ring that snaps together. But even better than that, so that I can help him locate them, here we have the bag. Oops, I just dropped them all over the floor because the bottom of the bag's open. So here's what the bag looks like, and there's all the numbers and all the information that you need. When you go to Home Depot, bring along your smartphone in this video and show it to the person in Home Depot and say, these are what I'm looking for. And anyway, what they look like is they come like this, and you snap them apart, and then the main ring has to snap into the hole, and it has 3 tabs here, 1, 2, and 3, that lock in 3 locations on the opening. And then these little tabs are, when you press this one over from the inside, it snaps over those, and it keeps this from being able to fall out. So you see I've got them on my plumbing here also. So I'm set there. You see it's over there on the plumbing also. On the corners here, I do something a little bit different. The foam that I use to block my drains so nothing crawls down there while I'm working, I have a bunch of that stuff laying around. So what I do is I cut strips of that, and I put U-shaped pieces in the hole around the pipe so that the pipes won't get cut on the metal studs. So that'll go in the corners over there. And then on the 2x3 studs that I use here, they have these little tiny holes. They're little rectangles, and this thing is definitely not going to fit in there. So I do the same thing on those. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll take a piece of plastic tubing and cut a length of it, and then slice it all the way down one side, and then loop it over there, just so it gives me a bushing type effect, so that it won't cut the pipes when they move around in the wall. All right. All of that's being said, let's see how we're going to throw that over there so I know where it is. I'll know where it is in the morning when I go hike for it. But yeah, notice that my dryer isn't working because there's no clothes in it. All right, the wind is blowing. It's got the flag moving. It's got the turbine spinning. I've got a crescent moon in the sky, and there's some planets that are still showing out here. You can see my little wind meter is moving there. I haven't been generating any electricity with that thing, but it sure makes a nice bird chaser. Like I need that, right? I want my birds around here. All right, last but not least, I did go down to the garden house. Oh, there's a woodpecker there on the corner post. You see him right there. Oops. So anyway, I did go down to the garden house and I fertilized all of the plants and put some extra soil, or actually steer manure mix around my tomato plants and around the trees. I don't want to get up around the trunks of those because you cause problems with the trees. You don't want to ever bury a tree deeper than what it is in the pot, so don't pack dirt around the bottom just because it looks like the dirt is packing down. That's not a good thing. If you're going to put more dirt in there, put it around the outside of the pot, but leave a dip of soil around the trunk of the tree so that the water can get down inside there and the extra dirt will settle down after a while. It'll also help keep moisture in, but don't put it around the trunk of the tree. You'll see people in their yards that'll build humps of soil around the base of a tree, and then the tree dies and it gets diseased because that's not good for it. There's a special line around the bottom of the tree that has to stay above the ground. You don't want to ever cover that with soil. All right, without getting deeper into that, I'll be moving all of these buckets down inside of the garden house. I'm going to make some room at the end of the self-watering garden to get all of that stuff in there, because once the winter comes and the winds start really gusting out here, 60, 70, and sometimes 80 miles an hour, all of that stuff will be gone. So I've got to get it inside where it won't go away. And I want to clean up this area right here anyway. That box right there is a nice little storage box, and I'm going to use that for something. I just haven't figured out what yet. And I can get all my tools inside the shed. I've got a bunch of, I don't know if you remember from my older videos, I found some imitation hardwood flooring out in the desert. I'm going to be putting some of that inside of the battery room there to clean the floor up, look a little bit. That's all cosmetic stuff. I'm going to do cosmetic as the last thing. I know people keep asking how come you haven't painted the walls, things like that. Cosmetic does not make it better. That just makes it prettier. And prettier is not always better. Well, except when it comes to young ladies and stuff, you know. All right, let's move on. My rock piles down there, I moved some of the rocks around and stacked some more on top of there, dumped a couple extra loads, and the chickens are all taken all of their feeds and stuff for the day. They're getting ready as soon as the sun sets. The minute it sets, they all line up, and one at a time they walk up the ramp into the coop. So that's about all for today, people. I will be having visitors next weekend, so I'm going to be cleaning out the motorhome and getting it ready because there's a little bit of dust that's been blowing through there. And I'll get that all set up for my guests and make sure that they have a comfortable stay. Other than that, G Bear signing off.